Hello, my name is Justin Brown and I am the founder and lead investigator of Interface Death, and in this video of quick tips we'll be discussing how to apply the scientific method to your voice phenomena hypotheses. And in order to do that, the only way I know how to is to tell you how I do it, how I have learned to do this, and what I would suggest to you in when you're trying to do your voice phenomena research. The steps to take is crucial, in my opinion, whether to validate or prove voice phenomena occurring on recorders or in the environment. Now, the two main types of voice phenomena are electronic voice phenomena, or better known as EVP, and disembodied voice phenomena. Some people call these AVPs, actual voice, but I stick to the old school terms just so people have a general understanding. So whether you use AVP or DVP, there is, a separate subset of voice phenomena known as a disembodied voice, something you actually hear without any type of device whatsoever. And the EVP is only present on electronic recording devices. Now, the first thing I would like to talk about concerning voice phenomena research is you need to start off with a hypothesis if you're doing scientific research. Now, the most simplest form is, do I hear a voice on my recorder when I do not hear it with my ears? Now, that's EVP hypothesis. So there's a lot of things that people do wrong when I observe them, and the most common things I want to talk about real quick is they'll take a recorder and they'll hold it in their hand, they'll hit record, and they'll record audio. They may ask questions, they may sit there silently, but what they're trying to do is they're trying to get a voice or some type of anomalous audio on the recorder and listen. If they don't hear anything, then they mark the recording if they hear something they didn't hear with the ears. And there's a lot of problems with that method. General ones can be, your handling of the voice recorder can cause contamination. Other things can cause, things to come across the recording that you don't hear with your ears. One of the major things is interference from other electronic devices or wireless transmissions and frequencies. There's a whole host of things that I won't get into, but if you're going to do this type of EVP research, you need to not handle the recorder itself, and if you're going to do handheld field recordings, you need to do the proper things to try to eliminate contamination stemming from your handling a device, which can involve shock mounts and other types of things that I do suggest in other videos. But the best way to do is just to set it down and to eliminate yourself from contaminating the audio. Now, this gets more involved with in my EVP research. What we do is really try to dig into certain hypotheses that tries to explain how the EVP or disembodied voice occurs. And one of our hypotheses concerns, a type of interference that's caused by magnetic fields. Now, one of the leading theories in the paranormal field suggests that magnetic fields cause a lot of phenomena to occur. And if that's true, then it may be responsible for electronic voice phenomena. So, with that being said, how would you go about testing that? Well, we use a PCM recorder, either a Tascam DR40 or a Zoom H4n, for example, and we use the external mic inputs to our advantage. Now, over the years, people try various external microphones to plug into 4-channel PCM recorders to try to see if they can get anomalous audio to come across, individual mics. So that's what we did. We found out that actually a lot of different types of shotgun mics and bullet mics are very susceptible to electromagnetic interference simply based on its design. the stereo condenser mics on most dictaphones and PCM recorders do a good job of filtering out and shielding the transducer from interference like this, but other microphones are very susceptible of it, and you can only use them in certain applications, and they do cause a lot of problems when you're doing audio production work. But in this case, we like the fact that shotgun mics are very susceptible to this type of interference because it tests a specific hypothesis that we are trying to apply to our research. So we use 2 Rode VideoMic Go shotgun mics, and we plug it into our PCM recorders for the external inputs. And what you want to do when you're using the scientific method is you have 3 variables that you test and get data from in your experiment. You have the control variable, the independent variable, and the dependent variable. The control variable is simple. The control variable is an unchanging thing, which is the environment that you're recording. Okay, you want to try to eliminate all possible sources of contamination, but you're going to run into all kinds of types of contamination when you're out there doing your paranormal research. So do what you can to eliminate, all the possible sources, which could be decreasing the amount of people you have present during the investigation, trying to pick locations that don't have a lot of traffic or have a dense population. All those types of things can be considered. But the other variables, which are the independent and dependent variables, deal with the recording device and the inputs. The independent variables are the condenser stereo mics of the PCM recorder, for example, in this scenario, and the dependent variables are the anomalous recordings itself. Now, the shotgun mics are independent variables, the condenser mics, stereo mics are independent variables. So what you're trying to see is the dependent variable popping out of one channel, mic channel, or the other. So you are actually validating a certain hypothesis concerning EVP. And we're going to talk about how I do that specifically in this video. So I will show you basically how to record this audio and analyze it to see if there is such anomalous sources of audio occurring on this type of setup. Now, disembodied voice phenomena is more straightforward. Okay, you're not actually trying to apply the scientific method so rigorously. You're just coming up with a hypothesis and trying to figure out how the disembodied voice is generated, and disembodied voice is a heck of a lot more difficult to actually apply a hypothesis to and do scientific research, because not only is acoustic energy like disembodied voices, people's voices, and everything else that you can hear with the human ear is insanely difficult to understand. Now, electronic voice phenomena, now if you're dialing in on a certain type of phenomena, either it's affecting the transducer with magnetic fields or not. I mean, that's pretty straightforward and simple, but the disembodied voice phenomena is a heck of a lot more, tougher to try to understand in this way. So we'll focus on EVP in this video from here on out. Now, what I'm going to do here is I am going to add a display capture into my OBS software here. Whatever mixing software that you have available. I use NCA's MixPad personally. So you got your audio tracks. You've recorded with the stereo condenser mics, and you have the external mic recordings, both left and right channel, and you're going to drag them in. So I'll use some sample recordings for an example. Okay. So for example, we will do some audio that recorded from our Ohio State Reform reformatory investigation, and we'll drop the stereo condenser mics in right there. Now, we got 000M, and then we're gonna drop this file in here too. So once that finishes loading, you will see how cross-checking the two files is going to be not only pretty easy, but essential. Now, if we hit play here, alright, good enough. Go. I'm gonna type in all kinds of stuff.
Say good night. Have fun.
Okay, you noticed right here that we had an investigator laughing, and on here there was hardly any audio there, so that would be a flag. So you'll see something here and nothing there, so you want to solo this track and then play it there. Okay, it's there, but it's just really quiet on that mic. The way we have it, our EVP research set up is we mic the investigator's mouth, so we can cross-check that with the other audio, for example. So there's different setups you can use. So if you're using the multiple mic setup, you always want to mic the investigator's mouth too, and I want to emphasize that in this video. You should do that, okay, because your mouth can make all kinds of noises that can come across the recorder and contaminate your research. You may think it's someone talking, or a breath, anomalous paranormal breath or whatever, and you really need to eliminate that from your research, because almost everything people capture is something like that. Okay, so you go through here and you check the blips of everything that's down here and not up there, or vice versa, depending on which track you're analyzing, and you just cross-check each one, and you do that accordingly for all your files. Now, if you have your mouth mic'd and you have two different files, you can bring in your microphone from your mouth or your investigator into this mix pad or whatever software you use, and then you can just cross-check all three. Okay, now in certain situations you're going to find out that you're investigating a home that's in a city or a town, and there's traffic going by and there's people outside that could be contaminating your field of research. So you can stick a recorder outside all around the house, recorders all around the house, and you can cross-check those with your audio, and that will help you know and eliminate any contamination coming from outside into your controlled environment on the inside. Now, with all that being said, guys, you should be able to do a good job when cross-checking your audio files. Now, we're focusing in on the hypothesis that you're testing with electronic voice phenomena, but this can also be used in any other type of voice phenomena that you're researching. So what you want to do is, if you're going to do a scientific experiment with your research, you need to come up with a hypothesis, or different hypotheses, and learn how to use the scientific method and apply it to your research. You want to have all the variables in place and a way to test the dependent variable against the independent variables to see if you can find things that are anomalous. And what most people do, again, is they'll take a recorder, they'll hit record, they'll hold it in the hand, ask questions, they'll walk around, or they'll stay in one spot and they'll see if they can get something anomalous. And there's all kinds of problems with that. So hopefully this video can kind of help you eliminate some of those problems and see my point of view and what I've learned during the course of my paranormal research to help you. So if this video does help you, please leave me a comment. If you have any suggestions, or if you think this idea is crap and not worth anything at all, please let me know that. Please visit our website at www.interfacedeath.net. Please subscribe to our mailing list. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel so we can get all the content out to you that could be beneficial. Let's learn from each other. Let's grow our paranormal community. And with all that being said, I hope you have a good day, and I bid you farewell.